Hi, Dr. Rubenstein here. I'm here with Kevin, and it's his sixth session, and we don't know what's going to happen, but I wanted to bring you into what session six looks like. So here we go. Okay, so the first thing I want to ask is do you have a general narrative or something that might have highlights? So can you do a highlight reel of what the last few days have been like? The last 4 days.
Sure. Yeah. So the last 4 days, I think, last session I had, what did I have? The long arm or the long arc or something like that?
You did.
Foot. Oh, it was foot calibration. Actually, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
we did the foot calibration. So the last 4 days. So the day after, it was Easter, and coming right off of the foot calibration, I was like a little like, ooh, okay, like you're starting to kind of feel it a little bit. When I left the office here, I was feeling pretty good. The day went on, I was feeling like, oh, pretty good. I slept like a rock that night. I got home, and once I got settled into my little couch, I was like, oh, it kind of hit me, and I was like, Jamie, bring me dinner. I'm passing out. And yeah, I slept. Like I said, I slept like a stone all night.
No wake ups.
No wake ups at all. Yeah, out cold completely.
How'd you feel in the morning that morning?
I felt pretty good. I felt like I was recovered, but definitely like there was still more to come. And then that day, it was Easter Sunday, so I went over and hung out with my folks, and I had a few drinks, a few little mimosas. And you know when you're kind of day drinking, or when you're having a few little mimosas in the morning, the afternoon kind of hits, and you're like, ooh, like the alcohol wears off, and you kind of, woo! Yeah, that kind of happened, but it also, like kind of in tandem with the foot calibration, it gave me sort of these little baby mood swings a little bit, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. So I kind of wrapped myself up in a little blankie on my couch, and I was like, Jamie, I'm feeling happy but sad, excited but tired, and like all these things. And I'm like, I'm just gonna sit here for a little while and chew on it. She's like, okay, like tell me what you need. And I'm like, I need some tea. So she brought me some tea, and I just kind of like, we just watched movies for the rest of the day and just like zoned out, kept it really mellow, and it was really nice. And then Monday I woke up and I felt brand new. I woke up refreshed. Like I woke up and I was like, whoa, I feel good today. And it was a good thing because I had a big work presentation on Monday. I had written 20 pages of a script, and I had to present it to my editor-in-chief. And usually with that kind of stuff, I'm very like anxiety ridden, especially because our editor-in-chief is new, so I don't know what he wants. I don't know how his style kind of goes. So I was like, oh, I don't know if what I wrote is going to be like, if he's going to like it. I don't really know this guy. But when it came time to actually present it, I found that I wasn't ridden with anxiety at all. I was like, oh, he's going to love it. I felt like this confidence that normally isn't really there was definitely there. Like, I felt good about presenting my stuff, and I did. I was like, hey, here's what I got. And he loved it because, amazing. But no, I'm just, no, but he really did enjoy it. And
How did you feel about the work you turned in? Compare it to how you felt a year ago to turning in the similar type of work.
amazing. I felt super on top of it yesterday, or not yesterday, this is Monday. Compared to like a year ago, I was like, I was always like, oh, I'm getting fired after this. Like, this is it for me. But on Monday, I was like, oh yeah, got this. Toss it in the bag, no problem. And it turned out that that's exactly what it was. Like, he was like, yeah, a couple edits here, there. And I'm like, sweet. Like, none of the, because usually, especially with creative types, there's always that inner critic that's like, this is the worst work you've ever done in your life. Congratulations. You're like, great. Like, there was none of that on Monday. It was like, I actually enjoyed writing this. I enjoyed rereading this. I'm going to enjoy presenting this. And I did. And it like all of these worst case scenarios never hit me prior to presenting it like it used to. Like I would always be like, okay, well, what's he gonna like? What am I gonna do once he says this is terrible? What am I gonna say to try to defend myself? None of that was going on in my head. It was all like,
Is that like no mind chatter?
yeah, that's pretty much what it was. It was almost like kind of my own little hype man, but a
So-
very calm one. It was like, yeah, there's nothing to worry about. You're good. I'm like, oh, okay.
So these are some of the things that foot calibration is supposed to do.
Oh, what?
So we're really glad to see that. Would you like to share with our viewing audience anything about your relationship with Jamie,
Sure.
and maybe a contrast of what happened recently about your guys' sort of transformation in connection?
Yeah. So my wife Jamie has been suffering from this really intense neurological cacophony. Is really the only way to explain this thing. Nobody really knows what she's doing or what's going on, but she's been suffering pretty heavily for a long time, and so she spent quite a bit amount of time here with Dr. David getting recalibrated, and it has helped her just bloom back into what she was before receiving this injury. She had an injury in her rib, and it just caused this cascade of pain. And so during this time, though, there was like a 2-year stint where she didn't know Dr. David, and she was trying to figure this out on her own. And during that time, the two of us, I mean, we've been together for almost 12 years, and it was really difficult for me watching her decline psychologically and physically, and there being nothing that I could do about that to help her. Like I tried everything under the sun, and nothing was really helping. And so once she went through the calibration and kept going, taking it even further, she really just re-blossomed back into her old self. And so once she did that, I was like, okay, now I need to figure out how, because I had to sort of disassociate myself in a way in order to protect myself from just feeling like crap all the time, and so when she started getting better, I was like, okay, great. Uh-oh.
To clarify, you felt bad because you couldn't help.
Correct.
You couldn't make a difference.
There wasn't anything I could do.
I mean, I know of your
Yeah.
continued attempts to really work the problem.
Yeah.
And in all fairness, her problem neurologically is one of the more complicated I've seen in my 35 years.
Yeah.
So, but kudos to you. I'm sorry for the interruption. Keep
Oh,
going.
no. No, that's exactly spot on. My my frustrations and my everything, none of it was targeted at her. It was targeted at my inability to help her, because I'm a fixer. I like to fix stuff.
So this was a slow burn trauma for you.
It was.
Okay.
Over the span of about 2 years. It started off, oh yeah, we'll go to the chiropractor. We'll get your rib fixed. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. And then that didn't help. And then nothing helped. And then nothing ever will help. And it was, just this slow, constant burn of like helplessness, and a bit of that like survivor's guilt as well. Even though there wasn't any major tragedy here, I still felt like, why is she the one that has to go through this? I wish I could take some of that burden from her.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that stuff was just it was really tough to work through. And so once she started getting better, I was like, oh good, now I can kind of come back into myself. But when I tried to do that, I was like, uh-oh, that's a little harder than I thought it was gonna be. I'm a little stuck here. And so I found that I was like stuck from this trauma. It had caused me to apparently jack up my breathing, first of all, but also just I couldn't find the way back, basically, is what it was. And so I needed to feel like myself again. Prior to her injury, she was like, okay, she's feeling better now. It's time for me to get back there as well. And so I was like, hey, you know what? Calibration seemed to work for Jamie. Might as well give it a shot.
See what it does for you.
See what it does for me. He's a trauma specialist. Might as well take a crack at it. And so, yeah, so 6 sessions later, Jamie and I have had just these really big revelations with one another because Dr. David has helped me come back into myself. And so we've been able, my wife and I have been able to reconnect almost after kind of having this separation, but not separation. It was like an emotional separation is what it was. For 2 years. Like we still loved each other, but there was just this distance that had grown that neither of us wanted to be there, but kind of it had to be there. It was a buffer zone for our own sanity's sake. And so now through calibration, that buffer zone is just being crushed, and we're really coming back into each other and finding that love again. And it's been really, really beautiful, I think.
I want to remind the audience that it's only been 2 weeks, your program.
My program, yeah. That's.
I just looked to see what
that's all it's
328.
been. Wow.
Okay.
That's all it takes.
Now we're going to get into our standard set of questions that we normally do. So, in the last 4 days, Kevin, has your sleep been trending better, worse, or the same?
I would say it's been trending close to the same with just a hint of better. I did feel that refreshed on Monday.
Was that your first refreshed?
It was, yeah. I woke up and I was like, let's get it, let's get that bread. But then Tuesday and then today I kind of woke up and I was like, okay, the energy's a little low, but I still feel good, I'm like, okay, I could work with this. So I think, one of the things I'll tell the studio audience here is that I had insanely bad insomnia because of all of this hoopla going on. I developed some insomnia where I was sleeping maybe 2 or 3 hours a night. So I am currently paying off some massive sleep debt. Now with calibration, I'm sleeping a good 6 to 7 hours before, I got to get up for work, and I'm going to try to actually push that even further and just go to bed at a reasonable hour because I like to play my video games late at night. So we're going to try to kill that bad habit. But yes, I'm finally sleeping through the night. And so because of this, I'm waking up like, whoa, like, okay, that was interesting. I'm not used to that much rest. So we're paying that bad boy off slowly but surely.
Okay, next question is about focus and concentration. And I know you've been doing better because you've said that before. But I want to compare today to our last session in terms of comparing your focus and concentration, cognitive, whatever, anything that goes into that bucket.
Sure.
We want to ascertain, is it better, same, or worse?
It is better.
And would you rate it as poor, fair, good, or excellent?
Excellent.
Excellent plus?
Oh, yeah.
Next question. Your reactivity to stressors. Better, same, worse?
Better.
And would you rate that as poor, fair, good, or excellent?
Excellent.
So that means to me, I just want to check to make sure that stressors are still coming at you in life, but that your reaction to them is muted, small, non-existent,
exactly.
Not like it used to be.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Your overall energy, better, same, worse?
About the same, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
And on the rating, is it poor, fair, good, or excellent with the energy?
It is good.
Okay. So that's our area we have some growth to do in. So, okay. And that fits in my way of thinking because we're paying down that sleep debt. And my guess is we're getting close.
Yeah.
And that's just a guess, but okay. Regarding body pain, your upper back, which has been one thing that we've been working on. Last session was a 4 to 5, and is especially painful while driving. So is that better, same, or worse?
That is a little bit better. Yeah, the pain today is down to a 3.
Okay.
So yeah, that's working its way up.
So I like the idea that driving is what really gets it going. So not because I like you to be in pain,
Yeah.
but it's a tough measure, right? It really pushes. So you're driving this morning, say.
Mhm.
Compare it. Was it better, same, or worse?
It was better.
So still, while driving, is the challenge, but
Mhm.
it wasn't as reactive. Is that
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And I think it's because I am starting to drive a little bit more relaxed. Less like, "Ah," and more like, okay, like, yeah, shoulders are down. I'm doing my trumpets before I get in the car. And sometimes while I'm driving, if I'm sitting in traffic, like tensing up, I'm like, we'll do, do our little trumpets, and everything kind of like mellows out. I'm like, okay, now I can ease into my chair a little bit more.
Possible suggestion for you.
Mhm.
People are like this, the 10 and the 2.
Yes.
What's better is 4 and 8.
4 and 8. Yeah, I think Miss Patty was telling me that last week too. I need to work on that.
So if I turn and you see me from the side,
Mhm.
when I do this, my upper back wants to round even more.
Yes.
Can you see that? So here I am. I go like this,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not trying to round it, but it rounded a little bit, right?
It does it on its own.
So that increased rounding puts a stretch. Only it's not the kind of stretch you think, okay, it's stretching is good.
Yeah.
The stretch aggravates the muscles and tells them to contract. That's why it hurts.
Okay, that's
So-
good to know.
And that's based on there's a phenomenon with all our muscles, which is called the stretch contract reflex.
Mhm.
So you stretch a muscle, it wakes up and says, okay, what are we gonna do? We're gonna.
Yeah,
It's a precursor to actual work.
I see.
Okay, so body pain there is better, and then lastly, neck and shoulders. Better, same, worse.
Better. Yeah.
You reported a 4 to 5 last session. What is it this session?
Neck pain is finally totally gone. Yeah, zero neck pain at all. Yeah.
I'm fist pumping right here.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Neck is all better. Shoulders are still a little tense, but I think they're kind of connected to the upper back as well. So once
Definitely.
that figures itself out, they should probably follow suit.
Now we will, Miss Patty and I will ask you about even though the pain's gone,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to ask you for the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Sure.
And if it's 3 weeks of us asking you and it's not there, then we drop it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, but we have to prove that it's gone and staying gone.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool. Yep.
Did you get your walks in?
Yes. Yep. Got my walks in.
And so that's 4 for 4.
4 for 4.
And stretches.
Stretches. Yep. Oh, I love those stretches.
Yeah.
They really, I think they really help put me to sleep, actually. I do them right before bed, and then I crawl into bed and just go, all right, lights out.
Okay, looks like it's time to review the stretches. So that'll be fun. Okay,
I didn't bring my packet with me.
trumpets.
Check. I'm doing the clusters now, like you guys told me to do.
Okay. Pause and pinch before bed.
Yep. Definitely.
And what's your pinch time for? 10 seconds?
10 seconds pinch.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's probably a really good idea for us to up the ante with the pause and pinch
Okay.
and go for not a 3 second, but a 4 or 5 second.
Sure. Yeah.
Pause.
And yeah, the pause, thank you. And then the pinch, we go to 15.
Let's do it.
What we're looking for during that is as long as you stay comfortable
Mm-hmm.
and don't feel like you have air hunger,
Mhm.
then you stay in it. If you have air hunger, then we come back down.
Sure.
And then
Okay.
also, when you're doing the pause part, inhale, exhale, pause, that part,
Mhm.
start with 3 and then go to 4 and then go to 5.
Okay.
Going up 2 is aggressive, and I'm doing it aggressive with you because you're doing so well.
Yeah.
But be ready to react to it bringing on some air hunger.
Okay.
And all we want is a shallow incline with this.
Mhm.
We don't want to try and push it. It's not like working out that way.
Sure.
And that has to do with something called a set point
Mhm.
with our respiration in our brain and our body.
Okay.
Moving that needle, the body, it basically goes like this. You have to prove it to me, the body here,
Yeah.
that this is going to be comfortable for me, or I'm not cooperating. Period. It's very
Wants nothing to do with it.
yeah.
And
So-
what is the goal of increasing the time of the pause and pinch? To be more relaxed?
deeper
or-
relaxation.
Deeper relaxation.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. I can work with that.
Yeah. So the idea there is to just improve on everything that's already going well.
Great.
And there isn't a risk of it somehow not getting better.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just be, it just stays the same, but it won't get worse, is what I meant.
Sure.
That can't happen. Okay. Any breakthroughs for the last 4 days that you want to share with us?
My biggest breakthrough was that bit I was telling you about on Monday with the presentation,
Okay.
and not feeling a wash of anxiety leading up to it, and while doing it. It was that mental calm that you were talking about.
Oh, you mean like not second guessing yourself?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Feeling confident in what I was doing. You know. I mean, I'm a fairly confident guy,
Mm-hmm.
but when it comes to like the creative unknown, there's always that like X factor where you're like, I don't know, you know. I want to think it's gonna be great, but who knows? This time I was like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's good.
The first book that I wrote, I gave it to the editor. It was the first chapter, right? And I was so excited
Yeah.
because I'd never tried anything like this ever before.
Yeah.
And about 2 days later, I had to pick it up at her house, and it just said in red, "Try again." I was devastated.
Crushing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right, we can round out the. Oh, we have one more question.
Mhm.
Have you noticed any changes in your libido?
Yeah, actually, a little bit.
Has it gone up? Has it gone down?
It's gone up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And if we would rate your libido before on a scale of 1 to 10, it was a certain number, and then now it's a certain number. What are those two numbers?
You mean like before calibration?
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Yeah, before calibration. So during this whole chaos with Jamie, it was probably like a 3 or a 4. But now I'm coasting.
Pick one of those, 3 or 4.
It would be a 4. It was a 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is it now?
It's a 7. It's a solid 7. Sometimes it's a little 8. Maybe a little 8. Depends on the mood.
So I just want to check, make sure that we're getting close to accurate here.
Mm-hmm.
That says that your libido is somewhere between 50 and 100% more dominant.
Accurate. Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Definitely.
So 50% would be a conservative.
That's the conservative route, I would
Okay.
say. Yeah.
All right. This is a natural part of, you're just getting out of stress,
Yeah.
you know?
That's what it feels like.
That's it. So, all right. So we're gonna get to work now, so we can